Hi, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Shades of Sage, where I discuss all things motherhood. So today I'm doing a part 2 of my last video on vaginal tearing, and today I'm going to talk about how to heal and recover if you have suffered a tear during your childbirth. This is 5 things that you can try to ease your discomfort as you are healing from your vaginal tear. So let's get started. First thing that you can do is ice your tear. So again, like I said in my last video, witch hazel pads, if you can make some of those ahead of time, or if you have the ingredients, the witch hazel or some aloe vera, you can just put that on the pad, put them into the freezer until it's completely frozen, and then when it's time for you to change your pad, you can use the frozen pad instead, and that will give you some comfort while you're healing, to help with your healing. Another thing that you can do if you don't have those ingredients like the witch hazel is you can take a glove actually and just put ice cubes in there or some crushed ice, whatever you have. Fill the glove up with that, and then you just tie it off, and you can use that as an ice pad as well. Of course, after you use it, throw that in the trash. And then another thing you can do is just buy you a regular ice pack that people use for coolers or whatever to keep things cold. You can use that as well. Put that right on top of your pad as well, and that will also keep that area cool as well. So the next thing that you can do is heat your tear. So whether this be a sitz bath or a hot compress, anything that's like warm, a sitz bath. Some hospitals give this to you when you're leaving the hospital postpartum. I know my hospital did, and I did not know what it was for. I had no clue how to use it, but of course I looked it up here on YouTube and Googled it, and I found out what it's for, and I did use it I think once or twice, and it was really nice to just have that warm water down there. So a sitz bath, I definitely recommend that, and a warm compress. So if you have like a heating pad or one of those portable like jelly or rice pads, you can use that. If you want to just wrap it up in a cloth, you can do that. But anything warm down there will help and will ease your discomfort as you're recovering from your tear. So the next thing that you can do is numb the area. And there are so many products out there that you can choose from. So any anesthetic will do. Dermablast is a good one. I know sometimes the hospital give you that when you're leaving home from the hospital. Also lidocaine spray, which is something that I use, and I love that so much. Again, you can use Tux for this because that has that cooling agent on there as well. The witch hazel, which helps to numb the area and gives you a little cooling effect, so that works good too. There's creams and lotions and sprays and just anything you can think of. If it has numbing properties, it will help you to feel a little bit more comfortable as you're recovering from your tear. So the next thing is not actually a product, but it's something to keep in mind that you want to avoid straining while you're recovering. Certain activities are not going to be wise of you to do during this time. Of course, you don't want to be like running or going to kick a soccer ball or anything like that. You definitely want to just be gentle with that area and refrain from activities that put too much pressure on your perineum. Even when you're sleeping, it's best to sleep on your side. So you're probably used to this already if you've been sleeping on your side throughout the later stages of your pregnancy. But sleeping on your side with like a little pillow, or a pillow that's not too plump or too fluffy in between your legs, like between your knees, will help ease your discomfort as well. And another thing that you want to keep in mind is you don't want to sit or stand for too long. And I know this sounds a little counterproductive because sometimes you sit down and you feel comfortable, but I promise you, if you sit down longer than like an hour or so, like if you're just sitting on the couch or something and you watch a whole entire movie and it's like 2 or 3 hours long, by the time you get up to stand, it's gonna hurt so bad. That happened to me a lot for my first recovery of my tear. For my second, I realized that it was better to do like one for 30 minutes and then do another for like 30 minutes. So change up your positions. You don't want to sit or stand too long because that adds pressure to your perineum, which makes your tear hurt even worse. And another thing that I want to point out about straining, which may not seem obvious for some, is try not to strain while you are going number 2. So this really is going to go in hand with your diet and making sure that you're staying on top of your stool softener until things go back to normal down there. You may already be suffering from hemorrhoids, and straining, of course, when you're trying to poop, will increase and add to your discomfort with the hemorrhoids and with your tear. So one thing that I learned to do, which I think a nurse at the hospital actually told me this, is to hold that part, or that part where you tore in your perineum, with like a piece of tissue, so like a wadded up piece of tissue on your hand, and kind of hold and lift up that area while you're pooping. I know that sounds crazy, but it definitely does help when you're going number 2 because it alleviates some of that pressure while you are going number 2. So again, you want to just make sure that your diet is high in fruits and vegetables, high in fiber and high in fats, and that will help you go a little bit more easier so that you're not constipated, you're not backed up, and you're not straining when you actually do go to the bathroom. And then the last tip that I have to cushion your perineum or your tear. So when you're sitting laying down, sitting on a pillow. Any pillow would do. A boppy pillow is excellent. That is great. I did mention that before, and I loved mine. It was a lifesaver for me, honestly. So a pillow, anything that you have, you can sit down on that's not flat and not hard, or any kind of pillow that's made for hemorrhoids, anything just to cushion you when you do sit down, whether it be your bed or your couch. And definitely you don't want to sit on the floor because it's hard to get up and down off of the floor with a tear. Just remember that tears do take a while to heal, depending on how severely that you teared, whether it was 1st degree or 4th degree. They do take a while to heal, so just be really gentle with yourself. And I would say try to follow the same guidelines that moms who have had a C-section have to follow, where you don't want to lift anything heavier than your newborn. So if you have older children, it may be, you know, a little sad if you can't pick them up during those first few weeks or so, but definitely you don't want to strain, you don't want to lift anything too heavy, and you want to stay away from activities that put more pressure and strain on your perineum while you're trying to heal. Keep up with your Kegel exercises. If you've done them during your pregnancy, that's great, but now is also a very important time for you to do your Kegel exercises, or to start doing Kegel exercises. You can do that as many times a day as you want, and that will help strengthen your pelvic floor and help strengthen those muscles down there, especially since you did tear. It will help everything to come back together and heal a little bit better, heal a little bit more quickly. Of course, you want everything to heal naturally and smoothly, and you don't want to re-bust open your stitches and then have to be stitched up again. All of these tips hopefully will help you if you also have suffered a tear. I have suffered 2 second-degree tears, and so I completely understand the recovery, and hopefully this video will help you if you do suffer a tear, or if you have suffered a tear. When to call the doctor. Make sure that you don't miss your postpartum appointment. For you especially, this is very important that you see your doctor at your 6-week checkup, because they're going to check to make sure that your tear is healing the way it's supposed to, and make sure that you're not having any issues down there. So you definitely want to make sure that you go to your postpartum appointment. In some cases, you may need to see your doctor again, just depending on how everything is going down there. So make sure that you keep up with those appointments. They're just as important for you to keep up with your care as it is for your baby to go to their appointments. So you should call the doctor if your perineum is red, if it's swollen, if it's painful, like extremely painful or more pain than you already were experiencing, or if it has an unpleasant odor, or unpleasant smell, or if something just doesn't feel right or smell right down there. You definitely want to go and call your doctor to make sure that you haven't gotten an infection, because that can happen as well when you're healing from a vaginal tear. Of course, abstaining from intercourse while your vaginal tear is healing as well. So that's all that I have for this video today. I hope that it was helpful for you. Hopefully, if you're watching this and you're not pregnant, I hope you don't experience a tear, but if you do, you have this video and my previous video that you can look back on, and hopefully these videos will help you out. If you like this video, give me a great big thumbs up. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I love reading all the comments. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you in my next video. And remember to let your story be your power. Bye.